A replacement engine in 2026 runs $6,000 to $10,000 installed. Most cars that need one are worth less than that, so the repair never happens. The owner takes whatever the dealer offers, signs a new loan, and starts the cycle over. Here's what nobody at that dealership will tell you. That moment is almost never bad luck. It's a decision somebody made years earlier in a meeting about fuel economy targets. 9 engines survived that meeting, and you can still buy every one of them used today for sensible money. 2 others are already scheduled to bankrupt whoever signs for them next, and one of those triggered a recall covering millions of cars. Number 9. Mazda Skyactiv-G 2.5. The 4-cylinder in the CX-5, the Mazda 6, and the Mazda 3 from 2013 onward. On paper, it's unremarkable, and that's the entire reason it's here. Every other manufacturer answered the fuel economy rules the same way. Shrink the engine, bolt on a turbo, hand the owner the repair bill in year 7. Mazda refused and pulled 13-to-1 compression out of a naturally aspirated block instead. No turbo means no wastegate, no intercooler plumbing, and no boost pressure hammering the head gasket every time you merge onto a highway. Skipping the turbo, let them skip the CVT too. So there's a real automatic back there while the rest of the industry moved to belts and pulleys. Parts are cheap, the timing chain is built to stay in the engine, and body shops can put these cars back together without a fight, which is exactly why insurance sits low. One thing to check before you shop though, the 2013 through 2017 cars run direct injection only, so carbon builds on the intake valves with no fuel washing them clean. Budget a walnut blast around 120,000 miles, or find a 2018 or newer car where Mazda added port injectors and solved it at the factory. Mazda got out of the turbo era by refusing to enter it. Ford did the same thing, in the last place you'd expect to find restraint. Number 8. Ford Coyote 5.0. Ford spent a decade telling F-150 buyers that a twin-turbo V6 was the future. The naturally aspirated V8 sitting one line below it on the same order sheet has outlived a lot of them. The Coyote arrived in 2011, and it's overbuilt precisely where it counts. 4 valves per cylinder, a deep skirt aluminum block, and from 2018, a forged crankshaft. In a truck engine, most owners will never spin past 4,000 revolutions per minute. There's no turbo bearing waiting on oil that shows up half a second late on a freezing morning, and no high-pressure fuel pump grinding away on a camshaft lobe. Fleet trucks with this engine cross 250,000 miles on oil, plugs, and the occasional coil pack. The EcoBoost trucks parked beside them get quoted $1,800 for one turbo, and they've got 2 of them. There is one noise you'll read about. Early Coyotes tick on cold start, and it's almost always harmless. But a compression test before you hand over money costs $100 and ends the argument permanently. Buy the V8, keep the receipts, and let somebody else fund Ford's boost experiment. General Motors reached the same conclusion a decade earlier, and they got there for half the money. Number 7. GM 5.3 Vortec, the LM7. Silverados, Tahoes, Suburbans, and Yukons from 1999 to around 2006. Iron block, aluminum heads, push rods, and almost nothing else left to fail. This engine is famous for a reason that sounds like an insult. It's simple: one camshaft. No variable valve timing to seize. No direct injection to coke up. A timing chain so short it barely qualifies as a wear item. Tow operators have run these past 400,000 miles, and the aftermarket runs so deep that a full rebuild kit costs less than a set of coil packs for a German V8. So the only real question is which year you buy, and this is where GM earns the blame. In 2007, they added active fuel management, which shuts down 4 cylinders while you cruise. It buys a sliver of a mile per gallon on a government test. It also starves specific lifters, and when one collapses, it wipes a camshaft lobe and sends metal straight through the oil system. GM banked a rounding error on a fuel economy sheet. The owner pays $2,000 to $4,000 for a top-end rebuild. The rule here is short: 1999 to 2006, and you own a motor that outlasts the frame underneath it. 2007 and up, and you've bought a lifter tick with a countdown already running. There's an engine further up this list with a defect just as expensive and a $60 part that stops it dead. Number 6. Honda J35 V6. The 3.5-liter V6 in the Pilot, the Odyssey, the Ridgeline, and the V6 Accord. Honda's been refining this block since 1998, and the bones are extraordinary. Owners routinely see 300,000 miles, but two bills hide inside it, and both are avoidable. The first is variable cylinder management. To save fuel, the engine shuts down cylinders while you cruise. Those dormant cylinders cool off, pull oil past the rings, foul their own spark plugs, and shake hard enough to tear through motor mounts. The forums read like support groups. A quart of oil every 1,000 miles, misfire codes, mounts gone at 80,000. The fix costs $60. It's a small device that keeps all 6 cylinders working, and Honda has never offered anything better. The second is the timing belt. This is an interference engine, so when the belt snaps the pistons and the valves try to occupy the same space at the same moment. Skip the 100,000-mile service and you're looking at bent valves, a machine shop, and an invoice worth more than the van it came out of. $4,000 to dodge a $400 belt job. Handle those two things and the J35 is close to immortal. Ignore either one and it takes the whole van down with it. Nothing about the number 5 engine asks you to handle anything. Number 5. Toyota 2AR-FE 2.5. The 4-cylinder in the 2009 to 2017 Camry, RAV4, and Highlander. It is aggressively boring, and it's on this list for exactly that reason. Port injection, so fuel washes the intake valves every single cycle and carbon never gets a grip. A timing chain instead of a belt. No turbo, no cylinder deactivation, no clever fuel-saving system waiting to fail the month after the warranty expires. Toyota's engineers left margin everywhere the accountants couldn't see it. That shows up in the used market immediately. Taxi fleets run these past 350,000 miles, and independent shops see them mostly for water pumps and brake work. Insurance sits low, resale sits high enough to frustrate everybody trying to buy one cheap. It gives up one thing, and it gives it up completely. 178 horsepower. This engine will never thrill you, not once. Before we get to the top 4, one favor. A like on this video pushes it in front of somebody who's about to sign for the wrong engine, and that's the whole point of it. The top 4 is where the real money is, and number 1 is the cheapest engine on this entire list. Number 4. Toyota 1GR-FE 4.0 V6. The V6 in the 4Runner, the Tacoma, the FJ Cruiser, and the Land Cruiser Prado. Toyota built this engine for markets where a breakdown isn't an inconvenience, it's a genuine emergency, and every decision inside it reflects that. Timing chain, port injection, an aluminum block with iron liners, and cooling capacity sized for towing in desert heat. It's rated conservatively, so the engine is loafing at exactly the speeds most owners actually drive. That gap between what it can survive and what it gets asked to do is the entire secret to longevity, and it's the first thing deleted when a manufacturer needs another mile per gallon. The used market has already priced this in, and the numbers are almost rude. There are 4 runners on Marketplace right now with 280,000 miles asking more than a new Corolla, and they sell inside a weekend. Depreciation on these has essentially stalled. Half the displacement, half the price, and the same refusal to die. That's Honda's turn. Number 3. Honda K24 Accords, CR-Vs, Elements, and Acura TSXs from 2002 onward. Enthusiasts build 600 horsepower versions of this engine. Everybody else just drives them until the body rusts away underneath. The K24 manages to be the sensible pick and the fun one at the same time. An oil pump driven straight off the crankshaft instead of a fragile chain. Port injection keeping the valves clean. A cylinder head Honda spent 20 years refining. Compression stays healthy at mileages where rival 4-cylinders are burning a quart a week. Owners running compression tests at 300,000 miles are still landing within a few percent of factory spec. Parts are everywhere. Every independent shop knows this engine cold, and labor on a Honda 4-cylinder is about as cheap as labor gets, which makes the 10-year running cost look almost unfair sitting next to a European 4-cylinder of the same size. Honda built the best small engine of the last 30 years. Toyota built the V8 that answers to nobody. Number 2. Toyota 3UR-FE 5.7 V8. The engine in the Tundra, the Sequoia, and the Lexus LX 570. 500,000 miles isn't a rumor here, it's a service record. The 3UR is deliberately understressed. It makes around 380 horsepower from 5.7 liters, while a modern Turbo 6 squeezes the same number out of half the displacement. Every pound of boost Toyota chose not to use is longevity the owner gets to keep. Forged connecting rods, a timing chain, oil capacity sized for towing at highway speed in July. There are Tundras running past 1 million verified miles on original internals, and Toyota bought one back and tore it down to find out why. There is one bill on these though, and the dealer won't raise it. On the 2007 to 2011 trucks, the secondary air injection pump fails. It's an emissions part with nothing to do with how the engine runs, and replacing it costs between $2,000 and $3,000. Toyota quietly extended coverage on it, which tells you precisely how common it got. A 2012 or newer truck has that behind it already. On an early one, negotiate it off the price before you sign, because an engine that did nothing wrong will still hand you the bill. Which leaves number 1, and it's the cheapest engine here by a wide margin. Number 1. Toyota 2GR-FE 3.5 V6. You've been sitting next to this engine your entire adult life without noticing it. Camry, Avalon, Highlander, Sienna, RAV4 V6, Lexus RX 350, ES 350, and IS 350, built from 2006 to roughly 2019. Toyota put it in everything, and that's precisely why it wins. Start with what's inside. Port injection, with a second set of direct injectors on the Lexus versions, so the valves stay clean and the carbon problem plaguing every modern V6 never starts. A timing chain, a closed deck block, meaning the cylinders are braced at the top instead of standing free. Water passages between every cylinder rather than the shared walls other manufacturers use to save an inch of length. None of that is exotic. All of it costs money, and Toyota paid it anyway. Then look at the survivors. Airport shuttle Siennas cross 400,000 miles on this engine. Highlanders trade hands at $250,000 with no internal repair anywhere in the history. Mechanics who open 50 engines a week describe pulling one apart and still finding factory cross-hatching on the cylinder walls. There's one known failure, and it's almost funny. On 2007 and 2008 cars, a rubber oil hose feeding the variable valve timing can split and empty the sump. Toyota recalled it and fitted a steel line instead. If the car in front of you hasn't had it done, the part costs $100. And here's why it beats the Tundra for the top spot. A high-mileage Camry with this V6 sells for $6,000 or $7,000. Everything above it on this list demands a premium, because everybody already knows. This one is hiding in the most ordinary sedan on the road, waiting for somebody to look up the engine code before they sign. That's the good news. Now the two that will take everything you have. The two that will bankrupt you. Both are everywhere, both look sensible on a dealer lot, and both fail in ways that cost more than the car is worth. Bankrupt? Pick one. Hyundai Theta 2 2.4 GDI. The 2.4-liter four-cylinder in the Sonata, the Optima, the Santa Fe Sport, and the Sorento, roughly 2011 through 2019. The failure starts at the factory. Metal debris left in the crankshaft oil passages during machining works loose, travels through the oiling system, and destroys the connecting rod bearings. There's no warning light. Owners describe a knock that shows up one week and a seized engine the next, frequently at highway speed. Some of them caught fire. The scale is the part people underestimate. Hyundai and Kia recalled millions of vehicles across a series of separate actions and settled a class action covering more than 4 million cars. That's not a bad batch. That's a production process that kept failing for years while the cars kept selling. Watch the costs stack. A short block runs $4,000 to $6,000. A full engine replacement out of warranty passes $7,000. And if you're past the mileage cap, you're financing a heart transplant for a car worth $8,000. Here's the part that should make you angry. Every review that praised the 10-year warranty on these cars was praising a warranty the manufacturer already knew it was going to need. Bankrupt Pick 2. Ford 5.4 Triton 3V. The V8 in the 2004 to 2010 F150, the Expedition, and the Lincoln Navigator. Millions sold. Most are still on the road, and a startling number of them are on the road with a bill pending. The cam phasers are the headline. They rattle on cold start, get louder every month, and when the chain tensioners give up alongside them, the engine can jump time. That job runs $2,500 to $4,000, and nearly all of it is labor, because the entire front of the engine has to come apart to reach it. Then there are the spark plugs, and this is where the engineering becomes indefensible. Ford used a two-piece plug that seizes into the cylinder head. Pulling one snaps it in half and leaves the electrode buried in the engine. A tune-up on any other V8 costs $200. On this one, it can run $1,200, and that's if nobody wrecks a head getting them out. Stack it up: phasers, chains, a plug extraction, then the plastic timing cover starts weeping coolant. 12 months in and you're $6,000 deep on a truck you paid $9,000 for. You didn't buy a V8, you took over the payments on somebody else's mistake. Walk past it. There's a Coyote 3 rows over. Here's the honest version. Nobody shops for an engine. You shop for a car and inherit whatever's under the hood. And that one part outlives the paint, the tires, and the loan. So spend 20 minutes on the engine code before you spend $20,000 on the car wrapped around it. Tell me in the comments which engine you'd still be driving in 2036. And subscribe so the next expensive surprise belongs to somebody else.